Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies, and this video is Faded Flowers by Manly P. Hall, taken from the All-Seeing Eye, Volume 1, Number 6. Faded Flowers. Oftentimes, in wandering through an old home among these scenes of long ago, one finds pressed away in a favorite volume, possibly the Bible or the family album, a faded rose crushed between the leaves. After many years of forgetfulness, it will bring back memories of the past, some loved one nearly forgotten in the battle of life, some dear soul we used to know comes before the mirror of the mind. We hear a laughing voice, perhaps now hushed forever, and kind hands stretched out across the years to enfold us again in memory's embrace. How few of these faded flowers have a message to the world, yet each whispers something of the past to some responsive heart, and how much like faded flowers are the hearts of suffering men and women wandering through life. Each faded rose was once the fairest bloom, and in a distant day forgotten, its dried and falling petals shone forth with all the glory of nature and its God. As we go along the road of life, we see many wondrous blooms filling the air with glorious fragrance and exquisite color, but when we pass that way again, we see them faded, and returning again to the dust from whence they came. How like the faded flower in the life of man. The glowing ideals he came here to carry out he soon forgets. His dreams of glorifying the world vanish from his memory as he struggles through the sordidness of life. In truth, he cometh forth as a flower and is cut down, but beneath the wilted petals and beneath that broken heart of man, there still glows in embers a light eternal, and someday the great magician is going to wander along that dusty road and with the touch of his magic wand bring back life to those faded flowers. In the highways and byways of this world, who shall be this great magician? Who shall pay the fairy queen and rise to life again the dead? There is within each one of us the great magician, the good spirit, who can bring faded flowers to life and restore the broken blossoms from whose crushed petals have been formed a rosary that ends with a cross. There is this wondrous fairy godmother who can bring to life the dead rose and make it bloom again in radiant beauty. And this mystic being, the good fairy, is the sweetness and compassion of love and hope that is hidden deep in the heart of every man. Each kind word, each sweet thought brings forth again the glow of life to the soul of some faded flower. It is a glorious thing to have the power to make the world shine again with happiness. This is within the reach of every mystic. To bring back the blush of life to broken souls, a great privilege is given. No longer does he live for what the world can give him, for he has more than it can ever know. He lives to wander through the gardens of humanity, where flower and blooming shrub fade each year as the snow of winter come. Gathering up the dried and withered leaves, he blesses them with the power of life, and they brighten up again at his touch. Where the mystic is, there can be no fading flowers, for he lives only to bring joy and life into the world. Hates and fears, sorrows and remorse, all these have withered the flowers of life. The roses of youth vanish from the cheeks as the furrows of care appear, and the eyes once bright with laughter soon grow dull with weeping. But the work of the master is to bring back the old-time joy, and although his own heart be sad, he smiles serenely through his tears as he gathers the broken petals to mold them again into perfect flowers. And man is walking in the footsteps of this master. Every day, somewhere, he sees a withered rose whose petals would glow again if he would but nourish them with the waters of life. Just a kind word, and the flower will become a thing of beauty in the garden of the Lord. We are to go forth in the name of the Father and gather close to our hearts these withered flowers, the broken children of men. In love and compassion, we are to serve them. In humility and simplicity, to protect them. In sympathy and brotherhood, to assist them. That the spirit of joy may come again into their lives as the blooming of a flower. Somewhere in the soul of man, no matter how cold he may seem, there is something which cries out to smile, cries out to be happy, and being happy, cries some more. This is a certain soul quality, explainable and known only to those who have suffered, and yet through it all are drawn by bonds undefinable, back to the cause of their anguish. There is something very human about the world, and while it may seem a cruel place, the longer we are in it, the less we desire to leave it. It is so much like each one of us that the bonds of understanding make us love the old earth more and more. The glory of being alive is a wonderful thing, but the still greater glory of giving life and expression to others fills the heart with a real purpose of being. And he who turns back again into the garden of the earth to nurture and care for those withered flowers, whose drooping petals bespeak the dying courage of an unawakened life, knows no other joy. It is a wondrous thing to feel that it is within our power, if we live as we should, to give these flowers new duty. From the soul of him who thus redeems the rose that was withered shall shine forth a star through the darkness, that star which is the mark of the compassionate one. The sons of God labor eternally with man to build within him that sweet sadness, the sadness which is the great peace that surpasseth understanding. In simple symbol well known to our eyes, the Son of Compassion, ever seeking to teach us the way that we should go, seeking to build within us the realization of the path which they have walked. They never command us to go this way or that. They only show us the beauties of the path. They show us the faded flowers, and then they ask if there can be anything more beautiful in all the world than a flower turned upwards in adoration to the light of its God. They ask if anything is sadder than to see the blossom wither and fade away. Then it is shown to us how we may go forth and bring to the blossom the flower of spirit, now budding alone in the endless deserts of materiality. So let us take their symbol of service and go out to labor in the world fields, that the faded flower hidden within the heart of man, called the Spirit of Christ, shall be raised from the dead to blossom forth unto perfect life. Man is the little creator, made in the image of the great Creator, containing the possibility, all that God has in awakened energy. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.